Hello and welcome to Maths Plus. We're covering areas and volumes this evening, and it's leaving cert ordinary level subject. All right, so let's look at the first question from 2021. So what we have here now is two squares and they're overlapping. We want to find the perimeter and the area of the full shape to two decimal places. So let's do some problem solving at the start. All right, so if we look down here, if this is a square, so half of that square will have a triangle with a right angle in the corner. So let's take that object out and we can concentrate on the formulas. So if we take that out, we can put 2 here and put another 2 there matching. And now we have two sides of a right angle triangle, and we can find A, which will be the length of this square above. All right, so let's apply Pythagoras' theorem. And as you know, the hypotenuse squared is the sum of the opposite two sides squared. Let's write out your formula first of all. And let's substitute in now our values instead of the B and the C. So we're going to have the same. So it's 2 squared plus 2 squared. So we don't need a calculator for this. We can just square the 2's and we get 4 plus 4, which is 8. Okay, so if a squared is equal to 8, then we can get the square root of both sides. And therefore, a is equal to the square root of 8. So we don't need to put this in decimal places yet, because we need to get the final answer to two decimal places, and we will round it at the very end. All right, so let's put in the square root of 8 everywhere. Up here and up here. So if anybody has any questions, okay, just let me know. Okay. All right, so now we have the side and we want to get the sum of the areas. So the triangular part down here, let's work on that. And that will be a half the base by the height. So B by H, and that would be the perpendicular height. So the base would be this base over here for sitting on the side, and then the height then could maybe be the length going upwards. Okay, so very straightforward here. So it's just a half by 2 by 2, and that will give you 2 centimeters squared. So that's 2 centimeters squared in there. Let's get the area up here, and that will be the area, it will be the length by the width, which is the same as it's a square, so it will be the square root of 8 by the square root of 8. Okay, and if you can see that now, that will be, so we'll call that area 2 up here, and then we will get square root of 8 squared is 8. So therefore the total will be 10 centimeters squared. Right, so that's the area, and the perimeter now is a different story. So it'll be all the lengths. So P is equal to, so we have 1, 2, 3 sides, and that will give 3 multiplied by the square root of 8 plus the 2's on the triangle. So that'll be 2 2's, which is 4. So it'll be 3 square root 8 plus 4. So if we put that into our calculator, we will get 12.485. And we look up now, before you go on to the next question, you look back and you see the format, and the perimeter needs to be in two decimal places. So let's round the 85 up to 90. So it'll be 12.49 centimeters. And that's the first one. All right, so let's look at a new question, and this is the trapezoidal rule. Okay, so we have to we have to sum up all the areas in here. Okay, so let's get those. So if you look in your log tables, the trapezoidal former is on page 12 of your log tables. So we have the area is equal to h over 2 by the first height, we can call that y1, and plus the end height, which can be yn, as there's n number of measurements, plus twice of all the other values. And if you look at it, it will go on from y2 plus, and it will keep going, let's say plus plus, and yn minus 1. So in minus 1 denotes the second last. Okay, second last. So we just have to follow the format of the formula and use our calculator then to input our value. So let's get all the heights now. So the first height is over here, so we have to be careful because there's two measurements, there's upwards and downwards. So the first one there, y1, would be equal to 10. Okay, this one here. y2 is 20 plus 20, so we just say y2 is equal to 40. And then we can go to y3, you guessed it, 10 plus 20 is 30. And then onwards, so y4 is equal to 50, y5 is equal to 50, y6 is equal to 20 plus 20 over here, so that will be 40. And then y7, which is equal to yn, and you can see there it's actually at a point. So this is a tricky one, and that's 0. So 0 is a height, it's a measurement, and that's where people get stuck sometimes. They just leave that one out, but it matters because it's a end of a length. So what is the h? Well, the h is the interdistance here, it's the interdistance here. So if I go from side to side, they're all equal. So you can see that's 10. So h is equal to 10. Okay, so we've everything we need now to substitute into the formula. So let's take our time and get it right. Okay, so it'll be 10 over 2, h over 2. Open your brackets, and it's the first. Okay, so the first value is 10, because that's y1, plus the last, and the last value is 0, plus twice of the others. So let's look at what's there. We have a 40 plus a 30 plus a 50. So we're up to 120 already, plus 40 up to 160, plus, and that one is 40 there, plus 40, 50 plus 40 plus 40, and that's it because we don't have the last one. So let's check all those again. So we have 40 plus 30 plus 50 plus 40 plus 40, and that's it. So have a quick check before you use the calculator. So 5 is outside, 10 over 2 is 5. The first plus the last will be 10, plus twice of all the rest. So inside here, let's see what we have for our sum in here. Well, we will have 200 there. And we're multiplying that by 2. So do the internal part first, the brackets. Okay, so we got to do this first. All right, so that'll be 10 plus 400. So it'll be 5 by 10 plus 400. So that's 410. And that will give 2050. Okay, so we have a number, and now we got to look at the units because you want to get the marks for the units as well. Don't want to be losing marks needlessly. So the length measurement is meters. And remember, we're calculating the area, so then it'll be meters squared in as a result. All right. So that's it for today. This is just the first broadcast. So thank you for joining the broadcast, and look out for the next broadcast very soon.